Hello everyone and welcome to the New York Empoleon's Week 8 Battle of the PBAL. We are taking on the Mississippi Marshadows this week, coached by Scoots. And if you don't know who Scoots is, then I encourage you to come to the PBAL Discord and learn who Scoots is. Or, if Scoots has a YouTube channel, I will link it in the description below. And you can go check out his YouTube channel if he has one. As some of my opponents do and some of them don't this week. So, this week, I only have like one opponent this week. Some of them do and some of them don't. In this league, I should say. Anyway, I'm starting a little earlier. I am searching, as you can tell, so at some point he may jump on. Wow, that was timely. But I'm just going to give you guys that little bit of, that's maybe the right person? I'm going to double check and see if that's the right person, so I will wait on my intro. Alright, so it is the right person, verified, and we're just going to jump right into it. So, I hope you guys have been enjoying the PBAL. The season is coming to an end, at least the regular season is. We are pretty close to guaranteed qualifying for playoffs. A win this week will do wonders for that, aka will qualify us for playoffs. A loss this week does not eliminate us from playoffs, not by a long shot, but it certainly doesn't make it a easy, guaranteed road going into the last week of the season, which is always what I'd prefer. So, let's jump right into this battle. Let's not waste any time. Let the battle begin. He's done, we're done, and we are going to see which Pokemon he has brought for this battle. This one that matters just a little bit more than the others. And this is almost exactly the team I was expecting, except no Gardevoir. Instead, it's the Rillaboom, which could also be Scarfed. And he has no Dracozolt this week either. That's not too surprising, but it was something that I was definitely keeping in the back of my mind. He does have the Rotom Wash Mandibuzz Colossal Core that I was very sure he'd bring, and the one thing that really kind of handles all of those is the Surfetch, so that is definitely going to be my lead, since he didn't bring the Gardevoir, which means he has literally no switch-in to close combat. Now, Rotom Wash could be a little bit of a problem. At one point I had Teal Bell on my Lapras, but I had since gotten rid of it. If Rotom Wash leads and goes for the Will-O-Wisp, then we've got a little bit of a potentially problematic start. But I think even with that, we're going to be okay. And it's a matter of, gauging whether or not we'll be fine on that. It's not that we will be... it's okay. It's an interesting spot, because the Surfetch still does a lot of damage, right? Even burned, but I would prefer it to do more damage. Alright, let's see what he's going to lead with. I'm just pulling my Calyx up real quick. I forgot to do that in advance. I usually try to, but I forgot. So it's the Mandibuzz. That's a sort of expected lead. He's probably expecting my Steelix to lead here, if we're being honest. But that's fine. The Colossal would have been the preferred lead, but Mandibuzz is fine. So we're going to... Close Combat's doing a lot of damage. I have an opportunity to go for a knockoff here. Brave Bird won't kill. Foul Play will do like 30%. And I don't want to lower my defenses yet, so I'm just going to go for a knockoff. Knockoff potentially the Boots, which is sort of what I'm expecting to have. And if it is Boots, then and we knock it off, then we're good. So, and let's see. It was a critical hit, 50% chance. And it was the Boots. Yeah, it was the Boots set. And he goes for the Foul Play. That's going to do... It's going to do a little bit, like 30% or so, yeah. So Mandibuzz, heavy-duty boots, and it has the Foul Play. Oops. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. My computer's lagging. My computer's lagging. Okay, so I'm not going to go for a close combat here because then I would die to a Foul Play. So I'm going to go out into my Steelix, which walls this Mandibuzz forever, and I don't have to worry about it too much, and I can set up my rocks potentially, or I can just go for a Toxic, and he's going to go for the U-turn this turn. That is a great play on his part, but I'm okay with it at this point. He could go out into Rotom, I guess, would be his best switch in here, and I do have the Reuniclus if I need to switch into the Rotom, so Hot Point, is that the Colossal? That's the Rotom, okay. It's shiny. Alright, so, yeah, I'm just going to reveal that I'm leftovers. That's fine. So back to Sturdy. So I do have the Sturdy if I really want to stay in on this, but I don't think that's the option. I could go out into Lapras. He could go for a Volt Switch. I think he's going to go Hydro Pump, though. And Lapras coming in is pretty great here. Volt Switch would be a very aggressive play. Lapras is sort of a middle ground. It does have the Assault Vest, so it will be able to take a hit pretty much no matter what he goes for. And so we are going to have to switch out. Unfortunate that he did make that good read and go for the U-turn there. Close Combat would have done a ton to the Mandibuzz, but Hydro Pump comes out, and we are going to show that we are Water Absorbed, so we are going to be all set to take that with the Lapras. Now, I could go back into the Steelix if I want to be super aggressive, but I think Freeze Dry is good enough here. He could go Colossal, but I'd break any Focus Sash or anything. So Volt Switch comes out here, and he's going to say, wow, he's bulky, because that should have done so much more damage. Now, Colossal and Doublade are the only things that resist. Doublade's not going to knock me out with close combat, unless he goes for like a Sword Stance. But Freeze Dry into a Surf is going to do a hefty chunk of damage to the Doublade here, and I would love for that thing to get chipped down early, because it just makes it so much easier for my Dragapult in the back. So even if Doublade comes out and is especially defensive, you know, we're looking at like something like 50% or more between Freeze Dry and Surf. And if he goes Colossal, I break a Focus Sash, then I can just go for the Surf to outspeed it. He goes Mandy. It's the Mandibuzz. So we saw that it was actually fairly physically defensive, if I'm not mistaken, by the knockoff damage. It was a crit anyway, but let's see. How much was that? Was that specially defensive damage? Ooh, it's hard to tell if I would kill him with another one. I think it is my best click anyway, so I'm going to go for it again. And I do outspeed him. I'm running a decent amount of speed on this thing because it was going to be Specs for a little while, but just missed the KO on that, which is super unfortunate. So I think it was a roll, and we see that he has the Roost. But that's okay. He's going to go for another Roost here. I'm just going to click Freeze Dry again. There's a chance I freeze him, and you know, there's no chance I knock him out, but there's a chance I freeze him. And you know, where there's a freeze, there's a way. U-turn comes out, so he actually doesn't go for another Roost, and now he'll die to Rocks on switch-in, and this is probably his removal. Rotom could be, but it would surprise me if that was and this wasn't. So now if he goes Doug Trio here, I don't think he's quite put me in range of Doug Trio yet. Stone Edge is a chance to kill. Rillaboom comes out. That thing I definitely don't want to stay in on right now, because this thing has so much utility to me left. So I could go into my Steelix. I could also go into my Ninetales. He could U-turn. Certainly could U-turn. I think it would be a little bit aggressive to go Ninetales here, especially when Steelix is physically defensive. So I'm going to go Steelix and try to see if I can't... Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I'm going to go Steelix, try to see if I can't set up Rocks here. He might U-turn immediately into the Mandibuzz, which would be annoying, but like it isn't the end of the world. He goes for that Drum Beating, which is sort of what I was predicting. This should be doing about 20% if he's Max Attack Adamant. But it lowers my speed. Curses. Foiled again. Alright, so I could Body Press, which is actually a decent click here no matter what. But I also think Rocks are just going to be helpful. So he could go Mandibuzz on the Rocks click. But then if he decides to defog, I Body Press, he dies. Leech Seed comes out. Okay, that's a good play. So he's not Scarfed. He's not Scarfed, and he's got the Leech Seed, so... how much am I doing with a Body Press to a Rillaboom? 50%? Okay. So I can Body Press now, or I can switch out, one of the two. I don't know what he would do to me, though. Like, he doesn't really threaten this Mon at all, except for just, like, passive damage here. So I'm going to go for the Body Press at this... Or the Toxic. Toxic's free. Yeah, I'm going to Toxic here. Goes for the U-turn. I'm curious what you're going to go into. Is it Rotom? It has to be Rotom, which makes me feel pretty good about my play. I mean, Body Press does a lot of damage, too, but getting the Toxic on the Rotom would be super nice. And so, yeah, Body Press would have done potentially as much as, like, 45%, depending on what his spread is. If he's physically defensive, then it would do a little less. But, are you also Boots? No, you're not Boots. Okay. Toxic's going to come out, and we are going to land it, which is really good. Got nervous for a second there. But Rotom's going to take that Toxic. And now he's got to make the read. Am I going to go into my Lapras, or am I going to stay in with my Steelix? He probably is pretty sure I'm not going to stay in with the Steelix. So Volt Switch is his safest click here, and actually what I'm expecting him to do. I don't expect him to go for the Hydro Pump. And as a result, I could stay in, really try to make that read, get a ton of damage off on this Rotom just because of the fact that I'd be doing the Body Slam, or the Body Press damage. But I'm going to switch out because I know this thing walls other Mons on his team, and I'm going to go out into the Reuniclus this time, just so that my Lapras doesn't have to take that hit, because my Lapras can still come in later. So he's actually going to double right back into Rillaboom. Okay, sure. That's a good play. It's an aggressive play, but it's a good play. So if he's adamant, max attack. We know he's leftovers. And he's got U-turn. I can potentially just Psyshock this thing for 50%. And I've got Magic Guard, so there's the U-turn. U-turn's doing a lot, but it's not the end of the world. And if he goes Mandibuzz, that was just... I clicked a little too fast there. If he goes Mandibuzz, that's fine. Mandibuzz will die on the switch in, though. So actually it doesn't matter, because Mandibuzz can't switch in again. So out comes the Doublade. And Shadow Sneak's not killing. Shadow Claw is potentially from here. Actually, after leftovers... Ooh, it's going to be close. It maxes out at 1... Well, that's if he's not offensive. Assuming he is offensive, it will kill. If he's not offensive, it won't kill. The Psyshock did damage that makes me think he's not physically defensive. So he's either specially defensive or offensive. And I do have the opportunity to go into Steelix if I want to. Go for the EQ. I think I'm going to click Shadow Ball. I really want the Reuniclus, though. He doesn't have... No, I'm going to click Shadow Ball here. He's going to Swords Dance. Calling it. Sacred Sword. Ooh, he predicted that Steelix to come in right there. That's not what happened, and I am going to be able to get off a Shadow Ball here. And he's been making those predictions, which is why I felt a little bit more comfortable going for that. Because he has been making hard predictions, expecting me to do what he wants me to do. And the way you beat something like that is by once, just that one time, not doing what he's expecting. Now I can go right out into Steelix. Because now he's going to say, okay, he's willing to stay in. He's maybe sacking off his Reuniclus. He's going to stay in. I'm going to go for the Shadow Claw. And I'm surprised he doesn't have close combat, but, you know, Sacred Sword's not a bad move. And now a Sacred Sword will not kill me, and I can go for the EQ. If he goes out into the Rotom, that's annoying, but it's already toxic, so I'm not going to stress about it too much, and this thing will have to take Stealth Rocks and switch back in, which puts it potentially in range of the first impression from the Surfetch'd. So he's going to switch out, go Rotom, goes Rillaboom, which will at least take damage from the EQ, so that's good to know. And we're going to just smash him. This seems like a battle that's going to take a little while, which is annoying because I want to finish all my battles, but... You know, how long have we been at this battle now? Something like 10 minutes or so, minimally. So we're about halfway through and it's still 6-6. Seems like this is going to be my first battle that goes to timer. I'm going to go for the Body Press here. I'm expecting a Leech Seed, for being honest. U-turn. Oh, what do you go into? Rotom? Rotom's going to take a hefty chunk from this if it comes in. Rocks, poison, U-turn, body press damage. That's going to do a lot and put him in a position where he has to go for the... Probably has to go for the Hydro Pump at that point. Really doesn't have a choice. Because if he does misread and I go out into my... Or if I stay in and he goes for the Volt Switch, then he's just dead. His Rotom's just dead. I'm not going to sack my Steelix like that. But he kind of has to go for the Hydro Pump. Now, if he's real, he's going to make this read that I'm going to my Lapras here. But last time I went Reuniclus, then the one time I stayed in with my Reuniclus, and that tells him that I'm willing to make those riskier plays. There we go. That's what you want. You want them to think you are willing to make the risky play. And now that he's gone for that Hydro Pump, I can go right back into Steelix here. Are you ready for this, guys? This is how you kill a Rotom. Don't let it Volt Switch on this turn, and it'll die to Rocks the next time it switches in. So we're going to double out here into my Steelix. There's no way he clicked Hydro Pump twice. There's no way he predicted my Steelix coming right back in here. Volt Switch. Now he dies to Rocks on switch in, and I go right out into my Reuniclus right here because I'm not risking my Lapras like that. Lapras does way more work against his team than Reuniclus does. So he lives on like 1. I'm definitely not risking Steelix. He could Volt Switch. Doesn't matter to me if he does. I go right out into my Reuniclus here. He probably either Hydro Pumps or Thunderbolts just to get damage off. But I'm not risking my Lapras. I'm risking my Reuniclus here. Volt Switch comes out. He actually does go for it, which is pretty surprising to me that he decides to actually go for the Volt Switch because of the fact that he will die to Stealth Rocks on switch-in. So now he's got Mandibuzz that's about to die and Rotom that's about to die. That's two of the big mons that I was worried about. Dugtrio comes in. That's annoying because I am in range of it killing me at this point with an Earthquake. So I'll just let this thing go down. I mean, I have no choice. I can scout if he's Arena Trap, but I'm pretty sure that if I try to go into... Well, nothing wants to switch in anyway. So I'm just going to let this thing go down. And I'm not going to stall time or anything. I'm just going to let this thing die. So Earthquake comes out. That's not surprising. But the Stealth Rocks make him go down to under Focus Sash, which is huge. And I can go out into Steelix, which can live in Earthquake. I can go out into my Sirfetch'd, which... Can it live in Earthquake from this range? Should be able to live in Earthquake from this range. Oh, that's jolly. So let's just go out into Lapras here. Lapras definitely lives. Oops. Lapras, Dugtrio. Yeah, Earthquake's not even doing 50%. And Hydro Pump or Surf is totally free. I think Surf is the freest move because Rotom's dead now on re-entry. Mandibuzz is dead on re-entry. So he could go Rillaboom, but that's aggressive, especially when Freeze Dry is super effective against this thing. So he's going to just sack his Rotom and scout out what I wanted to go for, which was the Surf here. That's fine. I didn't really give too much information away. So Rotom goes down to Rocks. So Rotom Wash dies to Stealth Rock. And Mandibuzz will also die to Stealth Rock the second it switches back in, so it's just at Death Fodder. Goes out into his Rillaboom. Rocks are going to chip that thing down as well. And I have Steelix still around for this thing to be a safe switch-in. He could go for the Leech Seed, which would be annoying and makes me want to go out into my Sirfetch'd really aggressively, but I don't think that's the right play. I think objectively the correct play is to go out into the Steelix here. Since I do have the Body Press Earthquake combo that can make sure that his Doublade doesn't safely get in either. So Drum Beating comes out, and that's why I couldn't just go into Sirfetch'd here, because Steelix just walls this, and I don't care about the speed, like, at all. So Body Press will do a huge chunk of damage to the Rillaboom, and just put it in range where Leech Seed recovery isn't passively going to get him back into this game, or be able to outpace my Steelix doing damage. So Toxic would be nice on some level, but Body Press hits everything except for the Doublade, which is totally fine because I have the Earthquake. So Steelix can come in on this Rillaboom every time, go for this Body Press. This should do 40 to 50%. Yeah, so, and then another one will kill. I don't know if the last move that he has is Protect. He could go out into his Doublade here, get the Leech Seed recovery, which would be annoying. Could U-turn out into the Doublade. I could try to make that read if I wanted to and go for the Earthquake. But that would allow this thing to live another Body Press, potentially. It'll take it out of range. So I think that's going to be his play, though. I'm willing to make this aggressive play to catch that Doublade. So it doesn't... Or just switch out. Yeah, I could just switch out at this point into Sirfetch'd. And if he goes for the U-turn, it won't do very much, and I can kill the Doublade, so he can't just set up with it. And I'm expecting the U-turn into the desired U-turn into Doublade. Ooh, he goes for the Drain Punch as his last move. Well, we're gonna live that. And I'm gonna go for a First Impression here, obviously, which should kill from this range. And if he goes out into the Doublade, he goes out to the Doublade. It's not a big deal. But First Impression is obviously the thing that I click. I think he's going to outspeed me. I outspeed him if he has no investment. I don't think he has no investment. I don't actually know for a fact if he has no investment or not. But he's going to switch out. Colossal come in. Mandibuzz comes in, sacks that to the Rocks at this point, since he needs the safe switch in at this point. So Mandibuzz going to go down. So Mandibuzz dies to Stealth Rock. Oh, I forgot to write down that Dugtrio kills Reuniclus with Earthquake. So 2 Mons down, 2 of his bulkiest Mons. Colossal can't switch in right here. Dugtrio can. It's annoying, but it can. Take a little bit more Stealth Rock damage. But Lapras is still healthy, so we're just trading off Mon for Mon, this Dugtrio right now, which is annoying, but that is how Dugtrio works sometimes. Dugtrio kills Sirfetch'd with Earthquake. And Lapras comes in. And now that I know that he has no switch-ins to freeze dry, except for the Colossal, which doesn't outspeed me if I don't click a water type move. Freeze dry should kill the Dugtrio here. Yeah, it does. I'm going to click freeze dry. He could click Earthquake and just sack this thing at this point. But he might go Rillaboom. He goes out into the Dew Blade. That's going to take Rocks plus freeze dry. I don't know if it's going to live this. I think it's a sack, all things considered, but it doesn't live that, so Dew Blade's going to go down. So Lapras kills Dew Blade with freeze dry. And if it's Rillaboom, takes Rocks. How much do you take? How much do you do to me with a drum beating? You kill me with drum beating, and you don't die to... Okay, so... I think... I hate that I have to go Ninetales here, but I think I have to go Ninetales here. I don't think this is the way I want... This is not... I don't think. This is not the way I wanted to use Ninetales in this match, but I think it's the only option here. We're going to see what he wants to go for. If it's the drum beating, which is the expected play here, we know his whole set. U-turn maybe would have been his aggressive play there to try to get Dugtrio in on the switch. He now outspeeds me. Drain Punch won't kill. He could U-turn. I think Flamethrower is just the best move to click at this point. Although Colossal could switch in, which makes me want to... Actually, I think I'm going to Nasty Plot on the Colossal. U-turn into Colossal here. And he's going to switch out. If it's Colossal... I'm at +2. I'm doing 50% minimum, and he needs to land like a Stone Edge. The problem is, if I let him land that Stone Edge, then it's going to be 3-3. And I don't know who has more HP left, for being honest. Well, his Colossal would be basically dead at that point. So, yeah, I would have more HP. So I'm just going to click Energy Ball here. We're not going to finish this battle. It's sad that that's the way this is going to go down, but... doing a lot of damage. Flamethrower is going to come out in the sun. That's not going to kill. I'm just going to let this be a potentially 4-2, potentially 3-3, depending on how much Energy Ball does here. I'm going to click it as fast as I possibly can. We're going to see if we can't pick up one more kill. It doesn't quite kill him. He goes for another Flamethrower. The battle's going to end. Ninetales is not going to die to that Flamethrower, it doesn't look like. And we are going to be able to pick up a victory, the first timer victory that we've had in Generation 8. Unfortunately, that's the way this one goes. I'm going to have to click Energy Ball in order for it to say, you defeated Chris. So we do get the victory here. It looks like a 4-3 win. That's obviously not what I wanted, but it does work. We do move on into the playoffs with that win. So is that what I expected or wanted? I guess a little bit what I expected. I knew this matchup was tough, and breaking down his walls, I did it. You know, I managed to find a way to break down his walls. It just took a long time. And then once I managed to do it, I didn't have the time to break down the offensive core. But I do think with what I had left, I would have managed to win that game. Because even if he had switched the Dugtrio into the Lapras when it was in range to die, not only had he been chipped down a lot, Lapras had Ice Shard, which does like 55%, and then I still had Sucker Punch on the Dragapult to kill the Dugtrio, the last little chip. So he would have had to bring the Dugtrio in right there on the Ninetales. I think my play at that point would have actually been to switch out the Ninetales to keep it alive for the Rillaboom later, and go for the... go into my Steelix, sack that to the Dugtrio, and then go into my Lapras again, which then can freeze dry. Again, it's totally free, because if he goes Colossal, then he dies to the Surf on the following turn, and then Rillaboom can't switch into the freeze dry either. Dugtrio has to switch back in eventually to try to kill the Lapras. I go for an Ice Shard, do 60%, and I think that was going to be the way the game ended anyway. I don't think this timer won me the game. I think it just stopped me from winning in a different way, right? So I don't think either of us were stalling it. I think that's just the way the game went sometimes. But thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed the battle. I will see you guys all back here next week as we finish up the regular season with a game that matters for seeding, but not for whether or not we qualify for playoffs, and then continue on with the playoffs after that. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys all back here next week. Take care, everybody.